So our next guest today is Jamie Verrillo. Jamie has an extensive history working with our animal kingdom. Many, many years ago, when he was a little bit younger than he is now, he used to work in the racing industry, and at that time he realized he had a special gift for working with horses, particularly misunderstood and troubled horses. And from there, Jamie went on to do a little bit of research and spiritual analysis, I guess, if you will, and came to understand the bond between animals and humans, and also studied a program called Access Consciousness, which we heard about in our last television show. So Jamie's going to speak to us today a little bit about his growth and his work with the animal kingdom. Welcome, Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Great to have you.
Yeah, great to be here, Lisa Marie.
Good to see you again. I am an incredible animal lover. Love them so much and can't wait to someday have an animal sanctuary. That's like one of my dreams. Tell me what it is that you are doing with the animals, the actual process as you're communicating with them.
Well, what I do is talking to animals, communicating with animals. Some people call me an animal whisperer. And for me, it just comes natural to me. Like you explained me being in the horse business. I just have always had this affinity for animals and children, and which just allowed me to just create, when I'm with animals, it's a feeling of just being in a space where there's an invitation to be who I say more of who I be.
Okay.
And from that space, the animals acknowledge that, and it's easy to communicate with them.
And how do you communicate with them? Is it a vocal communication or a spiritual connectivity or a combination?
Yeah, it's a combination. Sometimes words don't have to be spoken because animals don't communicate by words. They communicate by energy. So acknowledging the energy. That's the big thing with animals is when I'm working with clients that have, dogs or horses, I'm always getting this awareness of them wanting to be acknowledged in some way. And that acknowledgement that we can give to them is opening a door for the communication, I say. And from that space, you have an opportunity then to receive whatever the gift is they're offering.
Why do you think that you are able to receive these messages? What is it that you are doing? Are you being more present? Are you understanding that connectivity? What is it that makes you special?
Yes, makes me special. Thank you.
You're so special.
Yeah, well, it's just what you said. It's being present, because animals are always in present moment awareness. So when you step into that, when you're in present moment, as I show up being in present moment awareness, they acknowledge that. They recognize that. So in that instant, there's an acknowledgement and the communication starts to take place. So from that, I'll start asking questions. And what I'll do is, it's asking questions to allow them to have a choice. And it sounds so simple, and you mentioned access consciousness, and access consciousness kind of blew the door off of my procrastinating this whole process of communicating with the animals for me. But just the simple fact that an animal has a choice where they've been stuck in some sort of space from whatever they have picked up from a projection, rejection, any sort of limitation, expectation that we put on them. And giving them a choice just frees up the awareness for them, and things start to change for them.
Who would reach out to you? Give me an example of someone that might reach out to someone like you, and why would they do that? I mean, their dog is having bad behaviors, or what would be perceived to be. Who would reach out to you?
Yes, people that have animals that are having people problems. So, I get calls from people that have horses, and I'll give you an instance from a gal that I work with downstate. She had this horse, and she said, I'd like you to come down and, work with my horse, and it was more about working with her. So the horse was here, his name was Sonny and Susan, and I'd ask questions, okay, so what's going on here? And it's just amazing because the animals are more conscious than us, let's face it.
Absolutely.
And, the space that's created when you step into that, the awareness that comes up is just quite amazing. But and so asking questions, so what was going on with her. So immediately I got asking her the question. So she was having a problem. She couldn't ride him. This was a 20-year-old horse, and he didn't look, his age at all. He was beautiful energy. We stood there in a pen. He didn't even have his halter on. It was just like, what I got was he was like waiting for someone to step in to assist her where she was struggling. She couldn't ride him. She was afraid to ride him, actually, so she put a younger girl on him to try and ride him, and he bucked her off. And what I got was he wasn't interested in this girl riding him. He was interested, what we got to was through the questions and with Susan was that he was interested in her communicating with her because she was separating herself from her and she had other issues. And that's what's usually going on. There's these whatever thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are going on with people in relationships and family. Our animals are picking all of this kind of stuff up. So they're showing up as I say, as a gift. Are you going to show up being willing to receive this gift?
And why do some people resist that versus choose that gift?
Great question. Most people don't realize they have choice.
Okay.
Most people are stuck in whatever it is going on in their life. But the good news is that they're willing to be with animals or have animals, and I love people that adopt animals and rescue and all that kind of stuff. And so the animals show up for them, almost like this kind of
For their healing.
For their healing, yeah.
So to sum it up, you are, from what I'm hearing, really you call an animal facilitator, but you're bringing healing into a human's life as well. A non-human animal and a human animal, essentially, because we're all animals, right? So you have this duality of healing going on during your facilitating. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess you would say that. And the cool thing about all of this is I like to say that, because I'm showing up asking the questions and I'm so grateful that I know. And I always ask, what contribution can I be here? And how can I empower you, to know that you know? And, that's without having a vested outcome or conclusion of what's going to happen, because I really don't. But I do know that everyone has some sort of, knowingness of, whatever it is.
At some level.
At some level. And the cool thing also is that when I'm doing whatever it is, people say, you're a healer, and, it sounds good and everything. But I've acquired these tools from Access that these animals, and particularly horses, they just have the innate intelligence. They heal themselves. I don't do any healing. I show up, speak the language, connect with the energy, run some processes and tools on them, and the change just happens. Because change doesn't take place on a cognitive level. It takes place on an energetic level. As you well know, you work with energy. So it's pretty cool.
It is really cool. Thank you so much for what you are doing. I absolutely love it. I think it's fabulous. If you would like more information on Jamie Verrillo, you can reach him at www.animalfacilitator.com. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa Marie.
You're very welcome.